everyone.
Hello.
And welcome to Kirsty and Bryony's Comfort Zone.
I'm Kirsty.
And I am Bryony. And we are here to dive into the world of dreams and try and figure out what the heck is going on inside our head.
I think that there's nothing happening in there.
Oh, no dreams? No dreams?
Oh no, I've got dreams.
She's got dreams and ambitions.
Yeah, but
just no dreams?
there's not much else in there. It's like a male living space. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen r/male living space?
No. Is it just like boy apartments?
Yeah, it's boy apartments.
Oh my god.
Oh no, actually, hang on a minute. Hang on.
Space.
This is some of them are boy apartments, but some of them are just really nice places.
The top one is just really lovely.
They're all really lovely, yeah. I thought that r/male living space was the funny ones where they had like a couch and that was it.
I mean, there are some that are a little bit bare.
Yeah, there is one that's just a room with a desk and a TV on it.
Do you know, when Alex and I first moved to Bristol, the first day that we came to look around Bristol to find a flat, one of the places we saw was such a boy apartment is the only way I can describe it. Like everything was like black and silver furniture. It was all very like leather, and I was just like, oh, this just feels like a bachelor pad. It didn't look cozy at all. I'm glad we did not go for that one.
Mm-hmm. See, male living space, I think they've just like changed up what the subreddit is. It's now just a bunch of guys asking for decorating tips, which is really cool.
Aww.
There you go. But it used to be
Good
for you. I'm sure it used to be just like people posting guy apartments. But that's what my brain's like. And the mattress on the floor, that's the dream. Just one mattress on the floor.
I've always been quite curious as to what it's like to sleep on just a mattress on the floor. Because, do you know what? Ever since watching, this is so specific, ever since watching the film Benjamin Button, because there's a bit in that where he starts going out with, it's not Nicole Kidman, it's someone else. But he gets like a girlfriend and they live in this really like, they're young and in love. Of course, he's old at that point, but he's young, I think. And he's like, they're in love and they move into this place and they just have a mattress on the floor. And I was just like, I quite like that. But also, I quite like it because I think if I lived in a bungalow with a mattress on the floor, then I could just have an open plan and have the bunnies running everywhere and they could come and visit me and jump on the bed.
Would they not eat the mattress? Do you think they'd be tempted?
I don't know what goes through their heads.
Because my rats did. My rats loved eating mattresses.
Oh, I mean, they've never eaten the sofa or anything. But maybe then they just randomly take a bite out of the skirting board or the wall with no reasoning behind it. So maybe one day they'd turn to the mattress.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Once they've got through everything else.
Yeah.
Some of the places on this subreddit are really nice.
They are really nice.
No, I'm jealous.
Maybe the subreddit for messy ones would be like r/please don't tell people I live this way or something.
Bitch, you live like this. I have found one. There is one that's like a fold-out chair and a tiny mattress on the floor. That's the kind of thing I was picturing with male living space. But no, I'm pleasantly surprised. This is really nice, and I'm jealous.
The thing I have is I see so many Instagram reels of people being like, how I assume my husband creates the mess he creates, and it's just people the wives brushing their teeth and then just spraying it on the mirror and leaving things in the middle of nowhere. And every time I see those, I'm like, that's me. I'm the husband. Alex is so tidy.
You're the one just spraying shit everywhere.
I'm a hot mess. Without the hot part, I'm just a mess.
Yeah, honestly, same. The reason that I find male living space so funny is because I relate to it so much.
Yeah. It's just, I don't mean to be as messy as I am, but I will just the number of times that I've been going to bed and I've walked into the room with a glass of water and just gone, oh, and Alex is like, what? And he'd turn around and say, I've already got at least one glass of water next to the bed.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oops.
Taking a glass of water to bed means that you'll have a glass of water next to your bed for a week.
Yeah. What I need to do, I think, is this is the classic ADHD, this will solve all my problems, buying new thing. But
yeah,
I want to buy a specific next to the bed glass, so that if that isn't in the cupboard or in the dishwasher, I know it's next to the bed and it lives next to the bed.
Yeah, I know for a fact that will not work for me. You know what often goes through my head, like when I look at all of the mess and the cat hair everywhere, instead of being like, I hoover that up, I'm like, I need to move. I just need to move house. I just need to start fresh.
I've been thinking this because I was talking to my dad yesterday, and he said, what did he say? He said something about like getting he was like, did you get your roof fixed? And I was like, we got the roof patched up, but apparently it's going to need like a full replacement in like 5 to 10 years. And Dad, his response was just move.
Just move. Yeah, exactly.
I was like, is this where I get it from? I won't face my problems. I'll just do something that's actually a lot harder, because moving is horrible.
Just move.
I'll just move my entire life, and then I don't have to face dealing with the roof.
Yeah.
Dear, oh dear. I have something that is not at all comforting to say, but it's been on my mind and it's really depressing.
Oh, good.
And it's not a comfort zone thing at all. But I have found a reason why I've decided that I'm not going to try and get an ADHD diagnosis.
Oh, okay, go on then.
Because I found out that the other year, there was a study that showed that people who are diagnosed with ADHD have a shorter life expectancy.
Oh.
So if I don't get diagnosed, I've added years to my life.
What is the cause?
And you know what? Well, the top cause is that they're more accident prone.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
so they're just falling off of things.
The people that are diagnosed with ADHD, 100% of them have ADHD. People that aren't diagnosed with ADHD, a lot of them don't have ADHD, Brady. So they're going to be less accident prone. You can't escape this. This isn't like moving house.
Diagnosed people. So if I'm undiagnosed, I've added like 6 years to my life, as long as I stay this way.
That's smart.
I've found a way to break the system. Oh dear. But I saw that and I was just like, do you know, the way I found out was the classic stupid way of there being a Instagram reel where someone just like, you might have seen them actually. It's this person who, they do a lot of reels. I can't think how to describe them. They have like sort of quite messy, shortish hair, and they do reels that are just like what it's like being with ADHD, and it will just be them like putting a glass down and then turning around and being like, where did it go? And they yeah, and they did one that was just like, chat up lines for if you have ADHD, and it was just really stupid things. And then they were just like, are you my life expectancy because you're shorter than average? And I was just like, wait, what?
Oh.
And then other comments were like, seriously, this is how I find out? Like, what? So then I started looking it up, and I mentioned it on street the other day, and everyone was like, yeah, there was a big study about it. And I was like, I wasn't told.
But that's because of everything I just said. The people that are diagnosed are going to be more accident prone than people that aren't diagnosed, because people that aren't diagnosed probably might not have it. So they don't. They're not going to be. And
your flabber is gasted.
My flabber is gasted. Look, the thing is, if you think you're accident prone and you're going to accident yourself, just don't go outside.
Just don't accident. Well, no, because like 95% of accidents happen in the home. I made that up. Well, I don't know what it is.
If you don't go out, 95% of accidents happen in the home.
Accidented in your own house than anywhere.
All right, I'll rephrase. Don't leave your PC. Don't get out of your chair. then nothing bad can happen.
That's true.
Don't take that advice. That's not life advice, everybody.
I'm trying to think if I've ever stubbed my toe outside of the house. But I think I'm usually wearing shoes when I leave.
Stubbed my toe in a while, to be fair. I've been safe.
I stub my toe in the bedroom a lot.
Okay. On the bed frame?
Yes.
Fair.
Well, to be fair, it's because the side panel. So we've got, is it called a divan or whatever? Like a
divan? Like the one you can lift up?
No, it's like a box with drawers underneath.
Is that a divan? Which one's the one you lift up? Oh, ottoman is the one you lift up, not a divan.
And,
divan bed.
The front of the drawer fell off, and I haven't bothered to fix it, and so I stubbed my toe on it a lot.
I think a divan is the one that you lift up.
Okay.
Oh no.
Duvan?
Okay, so what's an ottoman bed? Dubosa. Okay, now ottoman is the one you lift up. Maybe it is a divan. I don't know.
Maybe you lift both of them.
Maybe.
If you're strong enough.
Wow.
I saw this thing yesterday that was... Actually, maybe I shouldn't say this. Oh. Is this too spicy? It was basically people saying, right, I don't particularly agree with microaggressions. I'll say that now, but I did find some of these funny. Someone did this post that was like, what are some feminist microaggressions that you do to try and right the wrongs of the world? And one of them that is what just made me think of this was someone being like, every time I need like someone to help me, like I'm a teacher, and every time I need someone to help me, I'll say, I need a big strong helper, and then I'll say the name of a girl in my class, so that they, just to normalize it, leveling out, that it's not just, I need a big strong man sort of thing. Mm-hmm. One of them was like, they said one of their colleagues told them to smile. So I said, you first. And when he smiled, I said, good boy, and walked away.
Oh my God.
I don't know. It just made me laugh. Anyway. But other than that, I've not learned anything this week. Other than not to get diagnosed.
It sounds like everything you've learned has been from Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is my tutor.
All right, let's do the old classic. Go on Instagram and see what reel I get first.
Oh. I mean, I've just been like trying to avoid just constantly watching Baby No Money things, because that's literally all Instagram suggests for me at the moment. So I've just been clicking on anything that isn't
I got a reel that's a party for the Sopranos' 30th birthday.
Aww.
They've got lots of ducks and they've got cocktails. And a picture of Tony Soprano and his horse.
That sounds lovely.
It looks so wholesome. Oh my goodness. I've been getting a lot of Swedish cooking reels because I just have been trying to make sense of them every time they show up. So every time I watch them, it's like, oh, you like these? Here's some more. And they're all very nice. They're all very delicious. Also, lots of RuneScape reels, because I said once that I'm tempted to play RuneScape again. And now it's like, you like RuneScape? Here's some RuneScape memes.
I got suggested an Oblivion thing the other day.
Oh.
I almost sent it to you and then I forgot.
Oh my God. I love that game. I need to finish it. It's so good.
I had a dream last night that I remember thinking I should tell you.
Okay.
I forgot what it was.
I see.
I woke up thinking like, oh, this is a nice one. I'll have to tell Kirsty. And it had someone famous in, and I can't even think who it was. It's completely gone.
It's just
gone.
Well,
I mean, I've got a recorded one, but it is the last recorded one that I've got.
Well, I have 2 dreams.
Oh my gosh.
They're not recorded, they're just written down, but I have 2. So
it's a form of recording?
Yes, I've recorded it in my note app on my phone.
Ew.
Do you want me to go first? Maybe we can do a sandwich then, if you've got one. If we've got enough time, or we'll just end up rambling about one dream.
There's a lot of screaming and shouting outside.
Oh boy.
I'm just going to see if it stops quickly. I think it's okay. Yes. Tell me your dream.
Okay.
One of 2.
So I have a very small dream first. This is from when I got COVID.
Oh.
So this was like a couple of days after we got back from Lyme Regis, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly the date, but and it doesn't make a lot of sense because I had COVID. So I'll read it out verbatim and then I'll explain myself. Okay, how's that?
Okay.
Okay. Speaking of oblivion, dreamt I went to my brother's and used his barbecue to cook some food. I ate it and gave some to my nan, who spilled it everywhere. Then, to complete a quest, I had to pat a couple of people on the cheek. Pat a couple of people on the cheek. Next thing, I find myself in front of the mad god's portal, and I'm like, oh no. So I run, but his voice carries across realms, and he transforms me into a weird-looking grey dude, cursed to wear a top hat and cane, among other things, because I was a glutton, a creep, and a whole host of other things. Thanks, Shegorath. And that's it. That's all I wrote. So, you played a little bit of Oblivion. I don't think you ever got to the Shivering Isles. Shegorath is a Daedric prince in the Elder Scrolls, and he's the god of madness. And in Oblivion, when you start the DLC, there's a big portal made out of his face that you go into, and that's the portal that was in the dream. So this is the day before I tested positive for COVID. I basically dreamt I was cursed by Shegorath in the dream, like where it says I was cursed because I was a creep and a glutton and stuff, blah, blah, blah. So I was just like doing things in this dream. I think like I was a creep because I was given this quest to pat people on the cheek, and it was like, that's creepy.
Yeah.
And I was a glutton because I was at my brother's using his barbecue and there was lots of food there and we were all eating it, and it's like, oh no, now you're a glutton. I'm like, no. And all of these things just fell into place, and it was very unfortunate. And as a result, he cursed me to wear a top hat forever, and I had a cane. And I just looked like a Victorian gentleman, but with grey skin. And that's all I can kind of remember from that dream. I'm sure there was more, but it was a while ago, and I had COVID at the time, so... it was, I remember, like, going to my brother's it's just to use a barbecue, which... I don't know if he has a barbecue, but in the dream I was like, hey, I'm here to use your barbecue. I really need it. It was a strange one. And then we all sat around a table. My nan was there, and I gave her some of the food that we cooked, and apparently she just dropped it everywhere. So yeah. That was that one. So that was a nice short one to start off the recording.
I mean, do you think there's any more to it apart from just fevery illness, or
I don't even know if I was fevery at that point. I don't know that I got a fever at all, but it's probably just illness. And when we were in Lyme Regis, that is when Oblivion dropped. So when I got home, when I got home, I was like, Oblivion time, baby, and I was just playing it with COVID like the whole time. Like I said to chat before it came out, I was like, I'm probably not going to stream it because I'm going to want to play it non-stop off stream. And then I got COVID, and I was just like, chat, I'm just going to stream it. So I was sitting there streaming it for 8 hours a day with COVID, just like, hello everybody, I have COVID. So I had Elder Scrolls on the mind.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably it. It was just me being sick.
Oh, got cursed with COVID.
Yeah, by the mad god. It seems like the kind of thing he would do. Yeah. But there wasn't much else to that one, I'm afraid. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I was thinking, like, so on Saturday, sorry, big yawn. Yeah. On Saturday, I'm going to be trying improv. I decided that I wanted to give it a go, and there's a taster session, so I'm going to do that. And I was thinking that I did sign up to do it before, but I signed up in 2020, and then obviously everything closed, so I never actually got to do it. But yeah, it's mad that that's like 5 years now.
God.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's gone so fast. It's weird too. Like I remember like around the time that COVID hit, everything just felt a bit like a fever dream, because suddenly that's when I started streaming. Well, it was November 2019, but when lockdown hit and like that time that Animal Crossing came out, was it March 2020?
Yeah.
That's when just everything sort of flipped on its head, you know? Like I suddenly Twitch started working for me, and suddenly everything was different at work. And it just felt like I'd been pulled into a portal and everything had changed, you know? And it's not been the same since. It's just so strange.
Yeah. Like, it's just such a strange thing to have. Because I guess you just sort of go through life and obviously, you know, there can be big life changes and stuff, but the world doesn't tend to particularly change when you have a life change. But then all of a sudden, like, everything was different. And it was just like, I don't know, it's just so strange thinking of like how differently it must have affected everyone. Like people who went to uni and didn't actually get to go to uni because they were doing it through lockdown and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's a very bizarre thing.
Yeah. So think of like the kids that ended up going to school and doing their exams during that time as well. Like, it's crazy. It must have been so incredibly disruptive.
Yeah.
And it just feels like it went by so quickly, right? Like everyone turns around and goes, oh my God, 5 years since that happened. It's like, huh?
Yeah. Like I remember, like even after like that, because 5 years is like, you know, it's still like memorable time sort of thing. And still Alex will say things like, oh, do you remember when we had to like queue outside of the local shop and you had to queue 2 meters apart from everyone and they had spots on the ground to show you where you stood and all that. And I'd like completely forgotten that was a thing because I guess the shops opened up and it was just like back to normal sort of thing. Yeah, it's just odd thinking all these little changes that got put in place.
Yeah. It was just really strange. And you know who I think did it? Shea Goreth.
I think you're onto something.
Yeah.
I liked the change of pace. Obviously, it was a terrible thing to have happened and very sad, but also it was nice it felt like having a summer holiday again.
Yeah, it was strange, right? Like it's just to, before anybody in like the comments says anything, like nobody's romanticizing lockdown here. But yeah, it was like, as someone who was an essential worker, and I think you were for a time too, right? Like when did you, I can't remember when you quit your job, but
I had about a month's furlough, I think, and then was back in.
Okay. I was pretty much essential like the whole time. I had 2 weeks off at the beginning of lockdown because I was away like the weekend before, and when I got home my friend was sick, so I got 2 weeks off work. And then after that the whole country was in lockdown. But yeah, I was working the whole way through, and having the centre being closed, because I worked in a animal rescue, for people listening, and it was open to the public before that, but then having it closed to the public was so nice because the public and animal rescue centres do not mix. You just get people coming in and stressing the animals out and children screaming, and it's just like, go away, please. So that was nice for the animals. And the roads to get to work, whereas it would take me like at least an hour to get to work every day because I'd have to drive in rush hour towards London on the A1 every day. And during lockdown, it took me 20 minutes a day. It was crazy. I was like, what? It was like waking up in The Walking Dead and there's just no one there. Like, it was like, where is everybody? It was so bizarre. Really, really strange. Like, what a strange time.
Yeah. It's like, I guess for me, like when I did go back into work, because they sort of, like I took garden leave a little bit before we were furloughed just because I was worried about Alex being vulnerable and going into a place where they hadn't put in any precautions yet. And I was like, oh, I feel like I should just, so I just was like, I'm going to go away for a bit because he's my priority. I have to sort of look after him. And then I got furloughed. And then they encouraged everyone to take their holiday if they were furloughed. So we just had enforced holiday so that when we got back, we weren't allowed any days off.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So, but it was just very odd going back in and having such a reduced team because like vets that are like surgical vets, like I worked at, are very, like you work in a very close-knit environment and it's very busy. And I mean, there are times when it's quiet, but a lot of the time you know, you're working very closely with a team of people. And then that was very odd to just be like on your own all of a sudden, because they would only have one of us in at a time. It was just like, oh, it's very, very strange. And then my last day when I did quit, I didn't get to say bye to anyone on my team because I was the only one in. I was just like, see ya.
Really sad.
Bye, everyone.
I did get to say bye to my team, but I didn't really like my job. So. It was more of a see ya.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Strange time. There was something else I was going to say, but it's completely left my brain. But yeah. Oh, okay. This is completely unrelated.
Okay.
I think I told you yesterday. I ordered a mushroom tincture.
Oh yeah, you did say that.
So it's this place called the Bristol Fungarium, and they make these little tinctures of different mushrooms. And I got the lion's mane one, which is meant to help your thinkies. I think that's the official term that they use. Like cognitive things. And I'll have to let you know if it helps at all.
Lovely.
But yeah, it feels very witchy.
So tincture,
I like it.
What do you do with it? Is it like a smelly, or is it a eaty, or is it a rubby on body, or?
It's like a little dropper, and they say that the best way to have it is to put it in a little bit of water, because they say you can put it under your tongue, but apparently it's more effective if it's gone through your digestive system. So they say you just have it with a little bit of water, and it has very good reviews of people being like, I can think now, and I don't get as like brain foggy and stuff. So let's see if it but it
sounds like you're
very
just avoiding being diagnosed with ADHD.
How dare you? Apparently it's meant to be very good for anxiety as well. So
that's good.
I'll have to see.
I could do one of those.
Yeah. We should both start becoming mushroom witches.
Yeah, that would be good.
It also comes in chocolate form if you want.
Oh my God. Now you're talking. Sign me up. Is it just like chocolate that you eat, or is it a chocolate tincture?
It's just chocolate that you eat. They've teamed up with like a local chocolate brand to make
mushroom chocolate.
Yeah.
It's like that to buy chocolate, but you break it open, it's just mushrooms.
It's very earthy, which some people aren't into, but I quite like. And when you put it in the water, it looks all weird. It's just all, it's like weirdly floaty. It's like a little ghost inside your water.
Oh.
The ghost of a mushroom.
Oh my God.
But I like it.
Turned into a tincture.
Bristol Fungarium, if you're listening, please sponsor me.
Oh, that reminds me. It's one tangent after another, as usual.
Yay!
So you remember we were talking about what's the word? The sensory deprivation tanks.
Yes.
Yeah. So I have a pal who lives in Bristol, and he messaged me and said I tried out the sensory flotation pod today in Bristol, and it was really good. He said he really recommends it, but it was very humid inside the one that was like closed off, so he'd recommend having an open air one. But he said the water's surprisingly shallow. They use a lot of salt, so you float super easily, and it was very relaxing and very nice. So yeah, there you go. There's a thing that we could try and do. We could go. We should do it.
And the one in Bristol, you can choose an add-on where you lie on a massage table for like half an hour before you go in and get pummeled by a massage table.
Oh my God!
It's just one of those ones that, you know, like the weird lumpy ones, and all the lumps just shimmy.
Yeah.
Like that. But I would be up for that.
So it was Float Bristol. Is that the one that you've looked at?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, hang on. The Mobilizer. Supercharge your float. Add a mobilizer session. It gently loosens tight muscles, improves your flexibility, and prepares your body for the deepest state of relaxation possible during your float. Wow. The Mobilizer.
We should go do that.
We should.
I mean, that's a good as use of the Patreon money as possible. I guess the thing is, would we be able to? Yes. I mean, that's a comfort zone. Get in the comfort zone.
Well, I think the sensory deprivation tank's definitely a good thing to try. Like, if we can drift off, it'll be like that episode of The Simpsons. You know, we're going to end up like tripping balls.
I was thinking about this the other day. Not sensory deprivation, but you know, okay, so I get quoted back to me a lot saying I'm not high, I'm just British. And then it got me thinking, have I ever been high? Because I'm very, you know, I'm a high on life person. I've not done any of the things. I'm quite vanilla and I don't mind that.
Right.
But I did, when I had my colonoscopy, I did have gas and air. Oh. Would that count as being high?
Yes.
It does, because I did trip balls hard. I went, I was off. When I came like back round, the doctor and the nurses were just laughing. And I just remember like realizing I was in the room and someone saying, I want to go where she went. So, but I wasn't sure if that counted.
That definitely counts.
Well, there you go.
Absolutely.
420, gas and air it.
I have never tripped balls on gas and air. I've never really tripped balls. I think one time when I partook of the devil's leaf, which
your mother's listening.
My mother's listening. Yeah, that's okay. She knows. I don't do it.
She's my dealer.
She's my dealer. Yeah. No, I tried. I've tried like once or twice, and it doesn't agree with me, and I just don't make a habit of it because there's no benefit to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's again an ADHD thing. I don't want to loop everything back around to ADHD, but as a person with inattentive ADHD, I find that something like weed makes me more sleepy, and that I don't need that. I don't need that in my life. I'm sleepy enough.
Isn't it? Is it meant to be?
It shoots you out, right?
Thing? Yeah.
And I don't. It just makes me go to bed. I'm just like, oh, okay, great. Now I'll just go to sleep. That's my whole experience. But one time I did. It just doesn't agree with me, and the only time when I've had an actual effect other than teehee, I'm a little bit giggly, I fully whited out and I was put to bed and I dreamt that I wasn't myself. Like I fully disassociated.
Oh, jeez.
And that's the extent. I either am like, teehee, I need to go to sleep, or I've gone to sleep and I don't know who I am anymore.
I remember a friend
I don't make a habit of tripping balls.
I had a friend who, when I was at uni, they said that they were like really struggling to like concentrate and get this particular, I can't remember, essay, coursework, whatever it was, done. And their housemate was a frequent user of the marijuana. And they said, oh, try this. It'll really help. And apparently they tried it and then just went to bed and like slept for 14 hours. And they were like, well, now I've just lost 14 hours and I'm just even closer to the deadline. Thank you, I guess.
I feel like if there's anything that you shouldn't take if you want to be more productive, it's weed.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Dear, dear.
But yeah, I've never like been put out in a hospital. I've never had gas and air. I've never had an operation or anything like that. So I've never experienced like even just the thought of like being put under and like them being like, okay, count down, and then it's like, okay, 5, 4.
It's freaky.
Like I think that would be so cool to experience. I don't know, maybe I'm weird, but I just think at least I just want to experience it once, and maybe I probably will eventually, but I haven't yet, and I'm just like, I'm so jealous because that just sounds really fun.
I guess that's the thing is like with the general anesthetic, it must be weird having like that thing you get in movies,
yeah,
where something's happening and then it hard cuts to someone being like, and they're waking up. It must.
Yeah.
I wonder if it feels like that. If you do get that feeling of like 5 seconds ago I was lying here and now I'm here. What the
Have you
heck?
ever been put under? Like, have you had general anesthetic?
No. So the closest. I mean, the only procedure I've
closest
had
is,
was
yeah,
the gas and
gas and
air. And the problem was, so, okay, this is my misunderstanding. I thought that all they were doing was like popping a little camera up. I thought it was just like a little periscope. It was just going to go up, have a look around and come down. And it wasn't until I got to the appointment assessment thing before going into it that they were like, you might feel a bit of discomfort when it goes around the corners. And I was just like, this is the first I have heard mention of corners, multiple corners. This wasn't on the paperwork. And then the problem is that obviously because the doctor has to be behind you, the screen displaying your innards is in front of you and you're just watching it happen. You're just like, that's up my ass. So I was just like, do you know what? I don't need to be here. I just left. I checked out hard. They were like, the gas and air's there if you want it. And I was like, okay, see ya. Bye-bye. It was just, it was a weird experience.
Fucking hell. Bye-bye.
I am out of the office. But yeah, I'd still much rather that than the throat one, though.
Oh,
I'm sorry. This has been a very uncomfortable conversation.
It has. It's just been medical procedures and COVID. Sorry.
The number of people who have said to me this week, like, "Oh, comfort zone. Like, I like to fall asleep.
I love falling asleep.
It's so relaxing." And then I just like, COVID, cameras up the arse. Oh dear.
Oh my gosh. But I remember they used to use general anesthetic at the dentist when I was a kid. Like my brother got put out to have teeth removed. We've been talking about this recently because my nephew, bless him, he had to have some teeth removed.
Yeah.
And my mum and I think maybe even my brother were like, they don't put them out anymore. And I'm like, no, they've not done that in a long time.
They still do sometimes with your wisdom
struggle.
Teeth. I got given the option.
Yeah, I think with wisdom teeth it's probably, but I think less, like as a kid, I think my brother maybe, I don't know if he had just a molar removed or something.
Yeah.
And he did get put out, as far as I'm aware, at the dentist.
I think nowadays you don't get, it's not like a proper general. I think it's like when the bunnies go in to have like nasal swabs, they sort of put them, it won't be a fully monitored anesthetic. Yeah, so I think it's closer to that when you have your wisdom teeth out maybe, rather than, because they don't have like the proper monitoring procedures for a general, but still, you are out of it.
You are out of it. But yeah, I've never had it. Never had it once.
But yeah, I wonder if we would have dreams in a sensory deprivation tank, or if you do.
I thought you were going to say on local anesthetic, general anesthetic. There we go. Let's get me put under.
Get a procedure,
and then I'll let you know. I'll let you know when I wake up. I think I would in a sensory deprivation tank, because I tend to just go and lay down in bed to daydream anyway, and this was like the ultimate daydreaming pod for
Have you ever slept on a water bed? Water bed? Water bed.
Yeah, maybe not slept. I think I've like been on a waterbed. I think someone in my family might have had a waterbed at some stage, and I just like sat on it and was like, wow, that's full of water, but I never slept on it.
Would you want to float together or solo? Because there's couples floats, but I feel like I
think solo, because
I feel like you would be a sense.
Yeah, we would just be giggling the whole time, and it would be a complete waste.
We'd just be two giggly little Brillo pads bobbing around in a sink,
sitting there like just chatting.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to go in a pod though. I think I'd want something open.
I think this is what my friend said. It was very humid in there, and it was nice when they finally opened it up. But that said, I think I would like to try the pod, but I am, yeah. Like, I would be wary of the humidity.
I'd just be too scared of getting claustrophobic, I think. I would go in
they do look quite
cabin.
big. Like, have you seen the size of them? They're like a giant egg.
Yeah. Oh, so you'd go in, it looks like it's called the Orbit.
Yeah. So, hang on. Our rooms, the Orbit. Yeah.
So there's the open pod, the cabin.
Open pod is like a body-shaped one. That's a small one.
Yeah, I think I'd want to go in the cabin because it's the same price.
Where's the cabin?
And it's the one that they use for 2 people, so I could starfish.
Yeah, I think I'd want to try the Orbit. The open pod it's open, but it's smaller, and I would like to float more.
Yeah.
You can starfish in the Orbit, even if it's warm.
Well, there you go. That's whenever you're next down in Bristol, we should book in for that.
Oh, it's not as expensive as I thought it would be. Man, I can just drive down for this.
You're free tomorrow?
This looks very relaxing. It's curved tomorrow. Shit.
I guess, would we be able to record a vlog on it, or would it just have to be a special episode? Because I feel like a vlog would be questionable. Also, would it take away from the relaxing if you're having to think about filming it?
Yeah. Hang on, let's look at the FAQ. Do they say, can I record? Can
I film myself floating for science and YouTube?
Are there conditions that would prevent me from floating? You won't be able to float if you're under the influence of drugs or alcohol, if you're in your first trimester of pregnancy, if you have mobility issues. Okay, so this isn't that you will sink. It's just you shouldn't float.
Oh, I was like, is alcohol really heavy?
Right, that's what I was like. I'm like, huh? Am I going to sink if I've had a beer? What the
You will
hell?
not be able to float if you've eaten stones.
If you're under 18 years old, you'll just sink.
It is recommended to avoid caffeine or heavy meals before a session.
Oh, no.
You have to come without makeup on. You'll be asked to shower before entering the tank to remove oils, lotion, and other substances that may interfere with the water quality. It's also helpful to approach the session with an open mind and a willingness to relax. I am out.
You can rent the mobilizer for £299 a month.
Wait, what? So we could float for a month?
No, the mobilizer. That's like the massage table.
Oh.
Why would you want that?
Well, I guess you could just have a little massage every night before bed.
But
does it have to stay there, or do you get to take it home?
No, you get to take it home. You rent it. But
I might quite like that. I guess I can't think what it's like.
Where would you put it?
Just on the floor.
Well, Alex, I've rented a massage table from Bristol Float.
What? Our table is quite sturdy. I could just put it on there.
I think it's got its own legs.
Oh, butts. Inside the tank, you'll experience a feeling of weightlessness similar to floating in space. Don't put it like that. I don't like space.
I don't like space either, but I'd be fine in a pod.
The water is perfectly calibrated to your body temperature, making it hard to distinguish between water, air, and your body.
Oh.
Wow.
That's fun.
Okay. The water has some texture to it. It feels silky. This is due to the high salt content.
The Orbit is a float space for 1 or 2 people. This is a large pod with a lid, so it's a good float option if you're looking for more sensory deprivation. You have control over whether the lights are on or off. Housed in a private room for changing and showering.
What does this? What does the sound do? Can you make this? Can you bring? Is it a sound?
It says the room does not have speakers, but feel free to bring your own to use at a low volume. That's for the Orbit, but some of the others might have speakers.
Okay. What if I fall asleep during a float?
Is that one of the questions?
Yeah, for most people, the experience of floating is very relaxing. So if you fall asleep, that's awesome. If you do drift off, it's perfectly safe. And the water is so buoyant that it's very difficult to turn over. Imagine just rolling over onto your front and staying asleep somehow.
I will have to wander down to have a float.
It says we provide float halos, head supports. So you can have a little pillow in there.
lovely.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, let's do this.
So the mobilizer, hang on, I want to look at this. We have to do this now because we've talked about it so much.
Yes.
Oh, okay, it doesn't have its own legs. Never mind. It's just a thing.
Yeah.
You don't need to do anything but relax on a mobilizer. It's like combining a strong massage with a wave that moves up and down your body. So if you go and sit on the mobilizer, you don't have anyone rubbing you or anything. It's just laying on it.
No, it's just
right?
the thing. It's like a massage chair, but lying down.
Okay.
Massage bed, I guess.
Oh. Okay.
Wait, does it do the feet? It says rejuvenates aching legs and feet. But how would it get to your feet if you're lying down?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We need to do this.
Yeah.
When can we do it?
Oh my gosh, apparently it's like the equivalent of 56 thumbs massaging you.
56? Oh
56
my God, sign
thumbs.
me
up.
So the orbit...
That's a lot of thumbs.
Let's have a look. What's the date today? 29th. All right, there's one at 9:30 tomorrow.
Come down. Should we go and get a massage before Curb Stream? We just turn up just like, hi, Rithian.
Hi, Rithian. I'm trying to think.
We're post float right now.
Yeah, we're
very
been
chill.
We've been. Oh my God. I mean, well, this is for the orbit. This is a one-person orbit. So, hang on.
Well, there's a package for 3 float package with mobilizer, £180. So that would be cheaper than getting 2, and we get 1 thrown in.
3 float package, 3 times 1 hour float, single. Wait, 3. We're gonna have to get someone to go with us.
Well, I can go back.
Unless
again.
you can go. Hang on a minute.
They only do it in odd numbers unless we get the full 10 and go 5 times.
So what was the one you wanted? The cabin. Okay, so no, that's for 2 people. Hang on. 1 hour float, the cabin. 9:30. They're both available at 9:30 tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
Incredible. I'll drive down this afternoon.
Yeah. Little float in the office. Sorted. Would you like to hear my dream?
Oh yeah, we should do that, shouldn't we?
My pre-float dream. Yes, it's a shortish one for me. It's almost 3 minutes. It's longer than I thought it was.
We'll have to speed run that one. We've not got much time left.
Okay, let's go.
Let's do it.
3, 2, 1, go. I had a dream that I was doing this collaboration with Dropout, where the whole point of it was that you had 3 paintings and you had to protect them, and you were all in a room together, and you had to like try and sabotage other people whilst you protected yours. And I was really winding up Brennan, like he was getting really like and then they like called for a timeout or something, or like Sam was saying a new rule that was being added, or new people being added, and Ped came in, and I was like saying to him like, oh, I'm so happy to be here, but also I just, the thought of there being new comments, and I feel like, oh, what are this new audience gonna say about me? What if people were mean and stuff? And then I looked down and my paintings were gone. Like mine and Ped's had put them together and they were just gone. And I was like, oh no, I'm gonna be out first. And I was like running around trying to find them. Every time I saw someone holding one, I would go and grab it and just be like, is this mine? And I kept on like throwing things on the floor as well. Like they had these big black pieces of equipment. Like I have no idea what they actually were, but I kept throwing them on the floor and they would smash like glass. And everyone was just looking at me and I was just like, sorry. I don't know, I'm so annoyed. It was so strange. And then there was a little second bit where I had to collect 6 of these tiny white fish that liked these particular like I had this food that was the size of lentils or something, and I was hovering above a pond, and I kept on feeding the fish, but then I wasn't catching them, and the whole point was I was meant to catch 6, and then it got to the end, and I was just like, oh yeah, I don't know, if you want to catch the fish, I'll just leave them be. But that was all I remember. I think they looked like the flowers of Lily of the Valley, but as fish. But yes, the end. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
It's a straightforward one. I've been watching a lot of Dropout. Yeah. I want to collaborate with them because they're cool.
Is this why you're doing improv?
I'm scared. Yeah, it's all building up to, I'm going to go out to
LA?
Seattle? Is that where they are? I
thought they were in LA, right?
I don't know. I thought no, wait. Yes.
They're not, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was in Seattle recently? What am I confused with? And yeah.
I always just relate D&D stuff to Seattle. That's where they're based.
And then comments can be mean.
Comments do be mean.
And someone asked me on stream earlier, they were like, if you could have one spooky superpower, what would it be? And I said, every time someone makes a mean comment about me on YouTube, they sneeze so hard that they hit their head on their desk. So is that a superpower?
I like that. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Not enough to damage themselves, but enough for it to have a Pavlovian effect if they stop it. Mm-hmm, but then I did think people make mean comments because they're sad, and maybe I should wish them happiness instead so that they're not mean.
Nah.
They sneeze and then they really like it. But what was the other thing? Oh, and I remember around about this time, I had been looking up the difference between wild garlic and lily of the valley, because apparently people will sometimes get those two confused. So I think I'd literally just been looking at the petals, and that was...
I would love to find some wild garlic. I had a friend at school who ended up going to uni in Huddersfield, and near her student accommodation there was a little wood, and it was full of wild garlic. And ever since then, I've always been like, I wish I could find some wild garlic of my own.
We get loads of it near us.
Never happened. Could you show me next time I'm down? I want to see. Yeah. To be fair, I probably just don't know what to look for. But
just don't get lily of the valley by accident.
Yeah.
I mean, they are very obviously different when you know, but if you were describing them, they would sound quite similar when described, I would say. But yeah, I can show you. But I think that was it. I don't know what the painting thing was about. I guess that was just me coming up with like a game changer type task that would have to be done. I wonder if it was to do with like, would around about this time have been when the first 2 Rooms and a Boom maybe was coming out, and it was just my way of thinking like, oh, new series. It's always scary if people don't like you in something or don't like something you're in, or maybe it's just to do with that.
See, the problem is you're reading the comments and you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, but sometimes there's nice things and I like the nice ones.
Yeah, I'm guilty too.
If I could have someone who just goes through every video and just screenshots the nice comments and sends them to me, then I wouldn't have to go and accidentally see mean things.
Is that a dig? Because Rithian did that for me once.
Oh, did he? No,
I'm pretty sure he did, right? I think I talked about it once on an episode, and you were like, well, it's never done that for me.
Oh, it wasn't an intentional one. Maybe my subconscious has brought it up. But not even just the nice ones about me. I like seeing nice comments about my friends as well. Just nice stuff.
Whenever I see mean comments about my friends, I want to like square up to the comment guy. I was like, excuse me, how dare you talk about my friend like that? But then I see a mean one about me, I'm like, yeah.
I've just been getting weird comments about me recently. Like, someone said that my hair in the Farkle tournament, they were like, Brenny is an English rose with her wonderful hair. And someone replied saying, Welsh actually. Close. So I was like, okay. Huh?
I feel like you're going to have to set the record straight at some point.
No. The fact that I'm neither.
Yeah.
So, because I'm French.
Oh, no.
No, I'm not French. But now someone might think I am. Never let them know your next move. Pum, 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 pum.
That's true. I don't know if I've seen any awful comments lately, but I've not been looking at all of them. I never read the Civ comments because I know that I don't play optimally and I don't need to be reminded of that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I've not really seen many comments about me, which has been just like me for real. People liked your wheelboy voice in the latest TTT.
How would you know unless you've been reading the comments, Kirsty?
I have been reading the comments.
Oh my gosh, pot kettle much.
Yeah. I do be like that.
It's like the other day, I exercised my free will by baking cookies in the middle of the day, 20 minutes before a stream. And I got back and there was one missing. I say I got back. I went to the shops. Alex got home. I got back from the shops. And I'm pretty sure there was one missing. And then later I said to him something about just like, I hope the cookies are okay. And he was like, oh, they're lovely. And I was just like, how do you know? How do you know that they're lovely?
Interesting.
Interesting knowledge, that is. I saw a comment that did like really wind me up recently.
I have found one comment on one of the TTT before last. In Bridie's defense, she is a woman.
Wow. Okay. Explain yourself. There was one comment recently that wound me up loads and I really struggled not to reply to it.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that I fear that drawing attention to it, letting know people that something gets under my skin that much, that's a dangerous thing to do when you're a streamer because people will use it against you. So I'll tell you off recording. But it was someone actualing something and getting it wrong. And I was just like...
that's the one that really does get you back up, doesn't it? It's just like, oh, come on.
Yeah. I
wanted
it's
to
like
I did
hard.
not in a mean way, but I did reply to someone on one of the clips because they said that I played Minecraft in Quake Pro POV, and I was like, no, I don't. It was just such a weird nitpicky thing. I was like, no, I play with FFE 90. Thank you. It wasn't even a mean comment. It was just, I don't play with Quake Pro. Sorry.
Yeah, how dare you?
How dare you?
At least insult my looks or ability.
I won't have anyone sitting there thinking that I play Minecraft with the Quake Pro POV. FOV, sorry. That's where I draw the line.
Well, there you go. 2 dreams. Wham, bam. We did it. And now we get to go and float.
Hell
like
yeah.
a little blob of ice cream in pop.
Yeah. do you think that little blob of ice cream has dreams?
We'll have to find out. We must become the ice cream to understand.
Oh my God.
Well, Kirsty, thank you very much for a lovely chat.
No, thank you so much, Bryony.
And thank you everyone for listening. And until next time, bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.